Everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, and you probably know by now, been watching my recordings. We're not in Manila, we're in a beautiful island, downtown Boracay. And I've come back to my home office. I've got my computer balanced on a chair. I've got the keyboard on my lap. And not in my office. I'm not in my present frame of mind, but never mind. It is what it is. But we've got a wonderful guest here today. He's a very, very, very unique individual. And I'm going to tell you all about him. I'm going to pick up my tablet. And we're going to tell you all about this man. I can resonate with him because I was in the same industry for a few years. Now my tablet's decided to turn itself off, so we'll quickly turn it back on. And my guest today is a wonderful gentleman by the name of Adam M. for Mary Little Lamb, Adam M. Lamb. And his current role is a founder and facilitator of Chef Life Coaching, Chef Life Radio, Chef Life Brigade. Company name is, of course, Chef Life Media. Been in the industry, guys, for a mere 30 plus years. What might he know, right? How much toast would he have burnt? We'll find that out later. I teach chefs how to become leaders and create thriving kitchens. His key achievements are projects, Chef Life Brigade membership community for chefs. His personal motto or philosophy, we before me. Right, so you understand all that latter, guys. Presence over position. Interesting fact about himself, he was a singer for Naked Ambition. We'll find out more about that. That sounds pretty interesting, right? Maybe he used to be one of his chefs who was the naked chef. Anyway, my great pleasure to welcome to the stage, Adam. How are you today, Adam?
Very well, sir. Thank you very much. You know, the Naked Chef, someone did that bit, the Naked Chef. I wanted to do it, but someone already got to it before.
Yeah, that's the one. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue this current career path all those years ago.
Yeah, I started out, quite innocuously like you. I started out as a dishwasher, and I know a few folks who say that everybody should have work a stint in restaurants, to really understand what being in service is to others. And one day I just happened to walk past the kitchen door when they were really busy, and the two women who were working. They were moving back and forth, but they didn't say a word to it. Like they knew each other so well. And it was like, I was like watching a ballet, but there was steam and the pans banging and it was loud and I couldn't get it out of my head. I said, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to find me some. And so I just started getting jobs in kitchens. Very often I kind of fibbed about what I knew so I could learn more.
Yeah, and, sure.
One of the most interesting things I learned as I was working for a Greek guy in a mall. And every day at 11 o'clock, he would have me fill up the grill with liver and onions. Now, the funny thing is we didn't have liver and onions on the menu. And I said, well, why am I doing this every day? He said, come on. He walked me out into the middle of the mall and you could smell the liver and onions. And he said, they don't know what it is, but all they know is now they're hungry. I said,
right. Pretty clever, huh? Clever boy.
Yeah, very clever. And so I decided I wanted to be a chef, but I didn't necessarily know how to do it. So I was in the military and then I got back out and then I started working. And I realized that it's not just being a good cook, to run a kitchen. I mean, it's very dynamic. There's very often 15, 20 people, some different backgrounds, educational levels. And like, how the hell you get all those people together and moving forward?
Sure.
So I started with the one question, which is, two chefs have given equal skill sets. Why do some cooks follow one and not the other? And so I started asking a bunch of cooks and they would say, oh, it's leader. It's because he's a great leader. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like I need to know what he's doing or she's doing in those moments so that I can learn. And so I've been on this journey and now I teach other chefs. The only thing they don't teach this in culinary school. And it's the one skill, hopefully, that they'll need because if they become successful enough and hardworking enough and lucky enough, someday someone's going to hand them a set of keys and say, okay, you run the team now. But how are they supposed to do that if nobody's ever given them skill sets? So that's why a lot of chefs leave the industry, get flamed out. I speak to chefs all day long. And one of the things I keep hearing every day is, they don't feel appreciated. They don't feel like they're valued, especially now post-COVID. And
it's a pretty tough career.
And, we have a problem with suicide. There's no getting around it. So I stand very firm in the juncture of mental wellness and advocacy, because I think for a long time it's something that our industry has ignored.
Yes.
Because if you paid attention to it, then you had to do something about it.
Yeah. Tell us, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work, Adam, and how have you overcome that?
understanding that it wasn't necessarily all about me, because, coming up in the 80s and 90s as a chef, there was this idea that, the star chef or the chef personality, that it had to be all about me. And I failed it several times until I really got, like I say, we before me. It wasn't until I understood that it was about the team, and my work was to facilitate that team and clear their way so that they can get the job done. That's when things started turning around.
Yeah. Tell us an important moment in your career that changed your direction, that sort of aha moment.
There was a dishwasher that a very happy-go-lucky guy, but every time I turned around, he was doing something wrong, and I got really frustrated with him. So I brought him into my office, and I started to dress him down about how he's on the verge of losing his job, and he collapsed to the ground crying in such a way that it shocked me, and I immediately understood,
the pressure.
How I brutalized him verbally. And I thought to I bent down to pick him up. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do now, but I'm telling you, I'm going to figure out another way, like how to communicate in such a way that I don't take away someone's dignity.
Yes.
Because a man without dignity is capable of anything.
Yeah.
and I didn't, I wanted to build people up. I didn't want to tear them down.
Yeah. It was lesson learned, isn't it? We learn as we go.
Yeah. Sure.
In your opinion, what are the keys, qualities, and skills that have helped contribute to your amazing success?
I would say that I'm endlessly curious. I love learning, and is something. And I'm not afraid to admit that I don't know, right? Because it used to be that if you were a chef and you told your owner that you didn't know something about the kitchen, that was your ass. You were out of a job. But I don't necessarily need to know how to pull sugar, but sure. I do need to facilitate a team in which one person on that team pulls sugar, right? So that's to me was the bigger learning. Yeah,
that's right. Team effort. So it's a team effort. Isn't it incredible? I was thinking for a minute. McDonald's guys are running $1 billion company with 15-year-olds that mothers can't get to clean their bedroom.
Yep.
Why? Because they got a great system. Like Adam was talking about, a team effort, right? The systems will set you free, guys. It's all about the systems, right?
Absolutely.
Systems, right? Yeah. Tell me, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your field like you've done for all these years?
I make it a point to connect with my peers as a service provider to the industry, and I also get out and call my circle of like my OGs, the guys who've been with me with the podcast since day one. They really help keep me straight. And like they'll tell me immediately whether or not I'm like starting to talk out of both sides of my mouth. They'll help me stay congruent. Yeah, for sure. Listen, the one thing I know about our industry, and I'm not even going to call it industry anymore, because there's the business part of it, and then there's the craft and fraternity part of it. Sure. The one thing that serves us is community. Like, we need more community. Absolutely. We don't need the rest of it. And when we get into our little restaurants and we work so hard, it's very easy to disconnect from everything else that's going on outside. So anything to facilitate community for us, it really helps. Yeah,
you find your vibe when you find your tribe, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Tell me, tell us about a recent project or achievement of some of the many. Tell me one you're particularly proud of.
So I'm just in the process of building out now an online membership community for chefs. Yeah. That is about health and regenerative wellness. It's called the Chef Life Brigade. It's I'm really excited about it because I've been thinking about it for 10, 15 years, and I've been working very kind of slowly and plodding along. So people will be able to log in. There's different forums for them to be in. There's free courses, paid courses. There's all kinds of different stuff. And of course, it's user generated content. So the more that they're communicating with each other, the better. Mm-hmm. And it's just a place, some places online are cesspools, some groups where they just want to complain. And I don't want to, again, I want to provide everybody an opportunity to
be upbeat, positive.
Exactly. Yeah, there's lots to complain about, but if you want to stay in that energy, nothing ever gets better.
No, that's right. It's meant to be. It's up to me. Is my motto.
There you go.
Yeah. Tell me, what advice would you give a 20-year-old version of yourself? He's just he's come out of school and he's thinking, oh, I might go and play in the restaurant space. What advice would you give him or her?
Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah.
There's no rush. For years, I thought that I had to go, get. I decided very early on that I was going to be the apex predator in the punch bowl, right? I was going to be the best. And sometimes that meant, adopting a way of being that wasn't natural to me, like being very strict and hard. When in fact, I'm very playful and funny, but I wasn't that way for years because I thought that had no place in my business. Yes. And it was only until I reconnected to that I go, oh shit, that's my superpower right there. So playfulness, curiosity leads to playfulness, leads to creativity, leads to success. It's just that simple.
Yeah. I'd add to that and say, get a mentor, reach out to people like yourself and shave years off the journey. Like, how do you peel an egg? It's pretty simple once you know, but you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. That's the trick. Right. Once you can actually get a frame for like what you don't know, then it's like it can be overwhelming because there's just so much to learn. That's why, small steps over time yield big results. That's another one of my principles is like the 1% way. Just be 1% better than you were yesterday and it'll get there. So I would say to myself, take your time, relax, be where you're at, have what you have.
Looking ahead, Adam, you've done this for so many years already. What are your goals and aspirations for the future, my friend?
I have a book series that I'm working on right now that deals with the top 10 problems that most chefs experience. I did a deep research project about the top 10 problems for chefs in 2025. It's same problems we've been having for years. It all kind of centers around the same thing. But these are, so the first book I came out with is Time Strategies at Work. So it's called The Successful Chef. Time strategies that actually work, because for most chefs, that's the one thing they don't have. Like, I don't have enough time. Like chef, no, I don't have time. But if you never make time, you'll never have time. So
that's right. You got to sharpen the saw, like they say, sharpen the saw.
Yep. And and also to sharpen the spear, right? When you're in conversation like this is an opportunity to metal against sharp again.
Yeah. That's the one. Tell me, how can our listeners watching this wonderful podcast find out more about your amazing service? Anyone in hospitality or wants to shoot the breeze with you and find out more, what's the best way to reach out to you?
So the best way to reach out to me is via email, and that's adam@cheflifecoaching.com. The podcast is Chef Life Radio, and it's on all the major networks, and it's a lot of fun. And also I'm on LinkedIn and at Chef Adam M. Lamb, and all the social medias, it's always Chef Adam M. Lamb. I was finally lucky enough to secure all that, but I love having conversations.
Yeah, as I do too. Tell me, before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Okay, so I was a singer still a singer, but the band's called Naked Ambition, and it's on Spotify, as a matter of fact. And it started as a gag. So the first hotel I was working at, they said, "Hey, the employee Christmas party is coming up this year. Why don't we get a band together and play some songs?" And so we actually did, and we didn't play very well, but 15 years later, we were still playing together, and we got pretty good. Yeah.
I love that story. So, guys, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, just like every man and woman's got a story, guys. We'd love to hear it. And think about it, guys. A TV commercial in your country or state is going to set you back about $30,000. And what's going to happen? People are going to jump up. They're going to be hungry. They're going to grab a burger, grab a beer, go to the toilet, and probably miss the whole darn thing. 10 radio spots are going to set you back $3,000 to $5,000. And what's going to happen? They're going to play them at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when people are asleep. Come on 15 Minutes of Fame, and we'll put you across all the social media channels and potentially put you in front of hundreds of prospective clients. And particularly, we'll put you across YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook groups, etc., with all your social media links, and we make it very easy for people to reach out, connect, and talk to you. You've been an awesome guest today, Adam. Thanks for being on the show, my friend.
Thank you very much. Such a pleasure, Jeff.